This is the first time I could really hear instrument separation. Selamat pagi! Good morning everyone, Kenneth here, and today we're talking about the Sabbat E12. This is the full review. Finally, I know, I'm sorry it took so much time, but let's get onto the speed. The first time I unboxed this thing, you probably got the impression that I wasn't really that impressed with the sound quality. Everyone is saying like, oh, praising good things about the Sabbat E12. But I'm like, sure, it's a little bit nicer than the Haylou GT1, but what's the mind-blowing thing about it? But I kept using it, you know, for too long actually. It's a little bit more than a month. You know, my opinions changed. And I'm gonna tell you right now, before you get into the nitty-gritty, nitty-gritty detail. That's so hard. Before I talk about all those details, I'm just gonna tell you right now that this is actually really good. One of the best earbuds for the price. Take my worth with a huge chunk of salt because I've never tried anything else on this price, but I can say that this is worth every penny that you spend on it. Wait, every buck that you spend on it. Those people are not lying. These Sabbat E12 are really good, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Anyway, before we go into the review, I would like to remind you to do click the thumbs up button and the subscribe button because I am reviewing more stuff coming up. Actually, I'm gonna record another video right after this, but anyways. Subscribe, and if you have questions or anything, my social medias are for that. Instagram and Twitter, anything. All links are down in the description below. See you there. Actually, no, just keep watching first. Follow me there. That's what I'm gonna say. On to the review now. So, if you've been watching my videos, you know, I'm gonna talk about sound quality first because this is actually the most important part in making the Sabbat E12 worth it. First is the volume. This can go much louder than the Haylou or the QCY, even rivals the Bulid High, but with the sound quality that matches it. On the Haylou GT1, usually I listen to mostly 60 to 80% volume, and on the Sabbat E12, I listen from 30 to 50% volume, and 60% is already really loud for me. 99% of the time I never use 60% volume, or actually it's just me not listening to high volumes. So secondly, the actual sound quality. So actually I feel like, you know, getting the message of that Beats headphones box, hear what you can't or something like that. On the Sabbat E12, I can actually hear it. If you want to hear to something, you want to hear to the guitar, you just shift your focus slightly onto the guitar, you can hear it. You want to hear the piano, the drums, the bass, you can hear it all. And they are detailed. It's better in some songs than the others because, you know, the artists made it differently. But sometimes I can differentiate how a guitar is being played by this thing called picks or by fingers. Maybe I'm talking too little of a detail here, but seriously, once you hear it, once you appreciate it that it's there in a song, I became used to it. So whenever I take my other earbuds such as this Haylou GT1 to go for the day, I would really wonder what details here that I'm missing. Although, to be honest, I cannot say this to have a flat sound profile. The treble is still toned down, so the screeching, high piercing sound of those guitar will not pierce your ear. And on EDM music, you can feel the bass boost there, very present. You can hear the kick more than ever before, and it's more defined than the Haylou, which is always a good thing. I think it still performs the best with modern mix, modern songs, but it can still take any songs and perform decently well. That for the price, you know, it's really nice. It's detailed, it's fun, it's awesome. Now let's talk about build quality. This design is one of those designs which looks better in person, slightly ugly in pictures. The first time I saw this, I thought it'll be big, chunky, uncomfortable and such things. Actually, it's really tiny. I'll make another video comparing these to the Sabbat E12 and the Haylou GT1 for full, but seriously, the size is about 1.5 of the Haylou, which is really impressive because it has much better battery life, it has wireless charging, and managed to make the package still relatively compact. So referring back to my unboxing video again, I think I mentioned there, I'm afraid that this earbuds, if I lean at the right angle, something like this, it can slowly creep out of my ear. It never fall in real life usage, so thank goodness it stayed very well in my ear. And actually the best ear tips is the built-in ear tips. I've tried other ear tips, they feel really weird in my ear. I even tried the memory foam ear tips, but the foam tips that I have goes pretty deep into my ear, even though my ear is not that deep, so kind of makes the earbuds protrudes outside a little bit more, and that makes more problems. So yeah, I just referred it back to the default ear tips, and yeah, the fit has been great for me. So about the earbuds itself, about this shape, it's not capsule sized like any other earbuds out there, but it's more like sculpted to your ear kind of thing. It's like those in-ear monitors that professionals use on stage. It feels pretty weird in your ear at first. So if you just put it like this, you might feel a little bit uneasy because of this. It feels the entire, you know, your ear leaf or something like that. But if you're like me, you'll get used to it, and once you get used to it, there are a lot of goodness that comes with it. Let's talk about number one, the flat shape to your ear. So it doesn't protrude that much from your ear, so whenever you're having something, let's say a hijab or a helmet, anything that you need to cover your hair and your ear, you can rest assured that this will not make any protrusion on your ear, and no one will know that you're wearing any earbuds. Also, while using a helmet, I don't have my helmet with me right now. Taking it out my helmet, I can just take it like this. It hardly falls. It fits really well in my ear. And also not to forget the raincoat. So with the QCY T3, raincoat has been a nightmare, a total disaster. Because of the stem right there, the raincoat keeps pulling on the stem and it keeps coming off, and it's raining outside. I don't want to lose my earbuds like that. Safety concerns aside, listening to a low volume by the way, this thing is, because of its flatness, raincoat just goes through it. Wind noise is pretty much the same with the Haylou because they are pretty much that kind of size, small. And now the noise isolation, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but I feel like these has less isolation than the Haylou. It might or might not be a good thing depending on where you use it, but it's still in-ear kind of thing. It's not AirPods like open style feeling, so it still can act as an earplug if you wanted to. But when you're talking, when you are singing to a music like I do most of the time, you can hear yourself through bone conduction. Not as much with this one, which I think is a big plus actually. And the last thing that I want to mention is the fit, I would guess. So when you're laughing, when you're yawning, opening your mouth wide like that, basically changing your shape of your ear, maybe because of the shape again, the sound is still there. I don't know how it could happen. Maybe because of the ear tips itself, you will hear your music most of the time. I mean, it can still disappear if you're like opening your mouth really wide, for example, but for most yawns, you can still hear your music, and I think that is one other good point about the design, which I really grow to like. So yeah, I feel like I'm talking too much and too little of the details here, but I don't see these being talked about in other reviews, so I really want to talk. You know, this video is all about the details, that's why it's a full review, right? So I'm sorry if the video is a little bit too long, but bear with me here. So a couple more things about the build quality. I did drop this a couple times under the rain even. They kind of rate it as IPX5, but I'm not sure, you know, with these kind of earbuds, I really want to take care of it. Even though I talked about how these don't drop when I'm using a raincoat or a helmet, still accidents happen. And one time I lost my left one, it dropped, and it's somewhere in the woods. It's not actually in the woods, it's just like on the side road there are plants there. It sure is wet. So I think durability wise, these are pretty good. I don't see that much of a cracking. Sometimes I do drop them from head height into the floor because I'm really that clunky. Lastly, about this case, I love it. Wireless charging, USB-C port, battery indicator, That's everything that I need. The only thing that I don't like though is this glossy finish, which is an absolute fingerprint magnet, but most of the time I'll be keeping them in my Haylou pouch right here, so I want to take care of my Sabbat E12, okay? I love it. And also last but not least is this lid. It has a satisfying click, never falls by itself, and it's pretty easy to open. No problems there. One more thing about the case, if you want to use your own foam ear tips, Sabbat E12 can do that. I cannot say that with the others. The Haylou GT1 cannot accommodate that because it has just enough space for the included ear tips. Okay, now let's talk about the music controls. This is a physical button you get here on the earbuds. Hate it or love it, physical buttons I think are still the way to go in true wireless earbuds. Accidental touches are no more. You don't need to be careful on, you know, touching any part of your earbuds. The only problem here is this button is placed smack center in the middle. I'm not sure if that's the way to describe it, but it kind of feels like all those reviewers saying you're jamming your earbud right into your ear. I could see some people not liking it, but what you get is a really amazing controls. It covers every basic aspect of music control. You've got your play and pause on single tap, 2 taps on the right for next song and on the left for previous songs, and 3 taps for volume control. Even though it's a little bit tedious, you know, 3 taps, but it's still really nice to have. And also you can activate your voice assistant on hold for 2 seconds, and the delay, it's not that 5-second delay that you get with the QCY. So the moment you press for 2 seconds, after that you can start spitting out words that you hope your phone will understand. So again, that's another win on the controls. I really like it. Let's move on. Latency test. I want to try and do something new here. I'm ditching Citus 2 and we'll do PUBG, which is what everyone is asking about, literally. And someone gave me this YouTube video, which is really interesting. Let's start right now. The answer, it's Haylou GT1. I know there are other earbuds that I haven't tested. There's a lot of them actually. Now moving on to controls, I think this has one of the best for its price. Some people will find the physical button. 2 taps is next song on the right side, 2 taps on the left is previous song, and 3 taps is Siri. Okay, so there you go. In my experience, I don't find the latency on the Sabbat E12 to be a problem. It's practically the same with any other, what I consider good true wireless earbuds. It's still not perfect. Expect some delays on PUBG, but it's not bad either. Now let's talk about battery life. Usually with the Haylou, you will get 3 to 5 days of battery life. And with the QCY-T2C, for example, I'd say that's a week. And this is around that or a little bit more, but it's not really that significant. Once you get past like a couple days, I feel like the case is good enough. But the more important thing is the earbuds themselves, and I get 6 hours on this thing, and I've tested that. Keep in mind that I listen to 30 to 50 volume. You know, when listening on a long session, I tend to lower my volume a little bit, and I'm also more comfortable that way. But 6 hours of battery life, that is really good. That is almost Bluetooth high level. I didn't get that one to die because I cannot listen to Bluetooth high for that long. But this, I want to hear more and more. I just want to keep listening to this everywhere I go. Anyways, if you're listening to higher volumes, probably the battery will be the same, you know, 4 hours. And next is the connection quality. So this is interesting here. This is one of the reasons they released the Sabbat E12 Ultra with the new Bluetooth chip. That's because for some reason this doesn't behave like basically any other true wireless earbuds out there. This prefers a more all or nothing approach. So it's either you are listening to good music when you are near to your phone, or you're not listening to music at all when you are pretty far. Usually in my apartment here, I can get 2 walls before the connection start dropping, the music starts stuttering and all. But this, after 1 wall, it starts dropping music. And when I go behind that second wall, I will just be completely disconnected from my phone. So keep in mind, even though this has a good sound quality, but the range is not that good. That's the Sabbat E12 though. I think this is a little bit outdated because they have released the Sabbat E12 Ultra, and I think that one resolves this particular issue. Why am I doing this video even right now? I can't get the Sabbat E12 Ultra. I have no issues. Let's talk about issues. It's also using the left side as the main earbud, so you have to take the left side first, then the right side. If you want to use one side only, it's better for you to take the left one instead of using the right one, because that will take you some time. Sometimes the right side might drop connection a little bit for, you know, 1-2 seconds, something like that. But the left side, when it's in range, it mostly stays solid. And factory reset, I've only had pairing problem once. Factory reset it once and that's it. So yeah, if you're the type that leaves your phone in your room and then you roam around your house without your phone in your pocket, this is not really for you. Probably get the E12 Ultra, or actually just, you know, get that one instead of this one. But if this goes cheaper, then that's another thing. So yeah, that is connection and battery life. We'll move on to call quality here. We're almost reaching the end of the video. Just keep watching. I don't know. Put me somewhere, you know, grab some tea, grab some food, get yourself comfortable. I should be telling this like since the start, but...
Okay, so on to the call test. Now I'm indoors. This is right inside my room. iPad is out there. And what do you think of the sound quality? I'm using the Sabbat E12 right now. Let me tap the right side and the left side. So I think the mic that's used is on the left side because that's the master one. Let's go outdoors and see how it performs outside. Okay, so now I am outdoors. There's a little wind here coming. Let me get closer. You can see that these leaves are moving, and I purposefully head towards the wind so that you can see if there is any wind noise reduction or whatnot. And then also there is this, there's less cars moving actually. Even if I go to the road, there will be less cars because I live in a relatively quiet place. So yeah, what do you think of the sound quality? This is the sound quality of the Sabbat E12. So far, I think personally it's good. So let's move on to the next test.
So to sum it all up, I'm just gonna say this quick sentence for you. The Sabbat E12 might not blow you at first listen, but just keep listening to it, and before long, you'll be asking yourself, how did I miss all these details before? That's what I talk to myself. I talk to myself too much. So yeah, I know a lot of people have stated the Sabbat E12 is a really worth it price to performance ratio. What did I say there? It's a really worth it earbuds for the price. Even compared to the Haylou, it's a no comparison. It's an overall upgrade. The case is overall better than the Haylou GT1. The build quality is better. The sound quality, the battery life, everything is really better on the Sabbat E12. And I think I could say so with the Haylou GT1 Pro. If the earbuds are still the same, the only difference is the case and the battery indicator. The Sabbat E12 will still have a huge advantage on the sound quality front. So yeah, if you want to ask me Haylou or Sabbat E12, of course, if you're considering the Sabbat E12, get this one. Unless you're really on a tight budget, I still recommend the Haylou, by the way. They're really differently priced. And yeah, that's pretty much what I can say about it. It's too much, I know. I'm sorry. But I hope it's useful. So now my question is, what earbuds can challenge the Sabbat E12? Bring it on. Put it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. By the way, I'm really sick. Just got better, so forgive my voice. I have a cough and flu, and a typhoon is coming, so it's a nice combo.
So the problem with my new apartment is I live on the 7th floor, so every time I want to go outdoor, I need to climb all these stairs. So yeah, for a good video.
Beautiful breakfast. Bye. Hi. You're in YouTube! I can rest now.